Hey everyone, it's Nick with Beer Man Outdoors, and today we're cooking with Nick. So I want to make this a regular segment, and today we're going to start with something that's relatively easy, but something that's delicious, and you don't actually have to fire up the oven. What we're going to do is we're going to pickle some onions. So excuse me, I pre-cut some of the onions and it's still in my eyes. So let's clear off the cutting board and we'll get started here. So first, this is just your standard cheap onion. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. There we go. And what I like to do is I slice it in half and then I keep slicing it. Now this one I had to take a little bit of the core out of it because it got a little nasty, but it's fine. Excuse the camera shake. So when I do these, I cut the two ends, then I cut it down the middle this way so I can peel the skin off. And you can see here how it came out. That's because there was a little bit of bad spots in the middle that I wanted to take out. So then I just slice it. You can, dice it or do whatever you want, but when you're pickling, it does soften up a little bit. So it's not a bad idea to leave them a little bit larger just for structural integrity. And these big ones here at the end, I just leave them big. It doesn't matter to me. I'm the one eating it, so. And these ones are some pretty pungent onions. Everyone says they've got the magic cure for making sure you don't cry when you are cutting onions, and none of them have worked. The only thing that I've found that works is a welding mask. And I'm not going to wear a welding mask while I'm filming, not only for safety reasons or audio, but it's about midnight here, and I'm not that much of a weirdo. Alright. So now I like to add a little bit of heat to mine. I love spicy food. So I've got a couple of habaneros and a couple of serranos. So you could dice these up. I'm not going to. I'm just going to cut them into chunks. And lately, the jalapeno crops have really sucked. They haven't had any bite at all to them. But the serranos have been real consistent. Excuse me while I wipe my eyes. Yeah, pretty much everything you're working with right now is going to make you cry. So just some chunks like that. Habaneros, I'll cut into 2, 3, maybe 4 pieces. Something like that. Just to help the juices get flowing on it. So now, when you hear pickling, everyone starts thinking of something in vinegar. Well, we're going to do natural fermentation, which creates lactic acid. And in my opinion, I think it tastes better. And it's actually safe for people that have allergies to to vinegar. Also, it's full of probiotics. All right, so this is a scale. Normally, I measure by volume, but this is one that actually requires to be measured by volume. Now, this is just a standard pickle jar. Let's make sure it's in frame. There we go. Okay, so with my scale, if I have the pickle jar on it before I turn it on, it zeroes it out. So now, just fit it all in there. Might not be able to fit everything in this one, but we're sure gonna try. Now, it's okay if, you know, they break into some smaller pieces and everything. That's not going to hurt anything. And yes, I am measuring in pounds and ounces because I'm in the United States. And we don't use the metric system. But it's the same no matter your unit of measurement. All right, so we have 1 pound, 4 ounces, 4.6 ounces. Excuse me while I do the math here. Okay, so we're using canning and pickling salt. Make sure you can see that. There we go. This one's Morton. There's other brands out there. So this salt is a specific salinity for whatever, you know, for canning, pickling. So that's why I use this, but you can use kosher salt or whatever. I wouldn't use iodized salt, you know, table salt. I would stick with this or kosher. Mainly, this is more of a true salt flavor than what table salt is. And you put in 2% of your weight, which will be I'm gonna go about half of an ounce here. Do that here. So what I'll do is I'll turn this off and I'll turn it back on so it's zeroed out. And I'll just sprinkle it in. Till I get half an ounce. Well, a little over. It's better to be over than under, in my opinion. Now this here is 2% saline that I mixed up. I like to do it in a bottle just so I make sure that it's all dissolved. And one thing you want to make sure is that you're using filtered or distilled water. You don't want to use tap water unless wherever you are doesn't put chlorine in your water, because chlorine's going to kill all that good bacteria that you want to help with your fermentation. So here we can take the scale out of the way. And what I'm going to do is just top this off. Hopefully I brought enough water. Got just enough. All right, so you want to leave a little bit of space. It's okay if these are sticking out because within, you know, 1 or 2 days, everything's going to start compressing down. So then you can leave it just like this. It'll be good. It'll be real acidic and a little spicy due to the peppers. But what I like to do is I like to add some bay leaves. These are from Kroger, but you know, whatever is fine. So I'm just going to add a couple in there. And then this is last season's oregano from my garden. This is probably some of the spiciest oregano I've ever had. And it just keeps growing in my garden no matter if it's a drought or what. So I like to put this in there. And what I do is a couple of big pinches. Just like that. And put the lid on. Now I do the blue tape on the top because I'm going to put the date that it's done on there, because I have multiple fermentation projects going on at the same time. And I need to take out the variable of time. So what I'm going to do is shake this up. Excuse me while I do this off frame. So there it is. Like I said, everything's going to kind of compress down as it starts to ferment. Now, one thing that you need to do with this is you need to burp it every day. Now, you can use something with an airlock, like, you know, for brewing beer and that kind of stuff. They'll have an airlock that will negate the need to burp. But you can do it as easy in a pickle jar. And to burp it, you just twist it and that'll let the pressure out. And I like these because you can tell if it's really building up pressure. So this is a jar from a couple weeks ago. And as you can see, I've almost eaten all of it. So I'm going to... Now I'm the only one eating these. That's why I'm not putting a glove on to grab it. So it's acidic, but it's not vinegary. It's a hard to explain flavor. You get this one. I think I just put habanero in, and I put oregano in it. It's hard to explain. It's sour, and it actually makes the sweetness of the onion come out more. So it's almost like you've caramelized it without caramelizing it. And it's still solid, but it's not. So it's weird, but it's fantastic, and you should definitely try it. And you can do this with just about anything. If you guys want to see more of these, you know, more of what you can pickle, I will gladly do that. One of my favorites is if you do onions and carrots, Mexican style. I have no idea what the name is, but that is fantastic. And I'll gladly show you guys if you want to see more stuff like this. So thank you for liking and subscribing, and comment down below if you guys want anything specific, or you know, I can even show how to do ginger beer, because I've been playing with the recipe for that too. So I hope you guys have a good one, and I will see you next time. Okay, so this is a couple days later. I realized as I was editing the video that I forgot to put in some information. One thing is, you want to keep these out of any kind of light. UV light actually kills the bacteria inside, and you won't get fermentation. It'll just rot in salty water. And you want to keep it a constant temperature. I found the ideal place for mine is bottom cabinet in my kitchen. in the back. It stays within 1 or 2 degrees probably. And it's a cabinet I don't use very often, so light gets in there not very often at all. Now, I'm going to open this and we'll see if there's a hiss. I'm not sure if it'll pick it up or not. There was a little hiss. But as you can see, this used to be just jam-packed full. As the onions start to ferment, they start to get a little softer and everything, and they just keep going down. So this is looking really good. Let's try one of these. They're still really salty, and they have probably a week or two to go before they're right where I like them. I put a date on it. So yeah, after it's done fermenting, it's gonna be carbonated too, which seems kind of weird, but you're not drinking the fluid. I guess you could, you know, get a little extra probiotic in your system, but you can put it in. You can just put the whole thing into the refrigerator and it'll hold for basically ever, because it's onion sitting in a acidic solution. Or if you're the canning type, you can put them into mason jars and you can can them. I haven't done just onions, but I did onions and carrots, the Mexican carrots, and those work really well. So other than that, I think that's all the information you need for fermenting some onions. So I hope you guys have a great day, and like, subscribe, and comment. Thank you.